Hello again. Good to see you back again for another classic film review. I'm glad you've joined me for this film in particular. It is a favourite of mine, not least because it ticks a number of my boxes. I'm a massive fan of film noir, and this film is a film noir. Equally, I'm also very impressed by the German expressionist films of the 1930s. Their style greatly informs film noir, but equally a number of the key creatives on those films from Germany also made their way to Hollywood and deeply influenced the film noir genre as well. Now, this is not an American film, it's a British film, but it certainly is a film noir. It is They Made Me a Fugitive from 1947. Now, this film was released in the US under an alternate title, They Made Me a Criminal, but it is exactly the same film. So if you're looking for this film, look for it under either title. Film noirs appeared in the American cinema in the 1940s and 1950s. They were typically based on pulp crime novels from that same time period, and some of them came from very well-known authors such as Raymond Chandler. This film is also adapted from a pulp novel from a writer you probably haven't heard of, a fellow by the name of Jackson Budd. He was active between the 1930s and the late 1950s, and he went under a number of different pen names, including William John Budd, William James Budd, and Wallace Jackson. Again, none of those names likely strike much of a chord with you, but he did write a number of novels with very interesting titles. They included The Lisbon Agent, The Story of Professor X, Daughter of Illusion, The Dark Horseman, Gold Express, which was adapted for the screen as well, and the novel on which this film was based, A Convict Has Escaped. The screenplay was written by Noel Langley. He was someone who specialised in adaptations. He adapted films such as The Wizard of Oz, The Pickwick Papers, The Prisoner of Zenda, Ivanhoe, Tom Brown's School Days, A Christmas Carol, and he wrote the adaptation for this particular film as well. The director for this film is someone who's relatively unknown. His name was Alberto Cavalcanti, and you'll notice on the titles for this particular film he's credited just as Cavalcanti. He was a Brazilian. He made his start in French cinema in the 1920s, and he worked as a writer, an art director, and a director before moving to England in 1933, where he again worked in those same sort of roles. He made a number of interesting films in the 1940s, the best of which is this particular film. He then moved back to Brazil until political pressure drove him out in 1954. He later settled in France, where he finished up working in television. Film noir is known for its very brooding and atmospheric cinematography. So obviously the cinematographer is a very important part of this particular film. The film was shot by a fellow by the name of Otto Heller. He was a pioneering Czech cinematographer who started out as a cinema usher and then worked as a projectionist at a cinema in Prague. He became a military reporter and cameraman in World War I, and after the war he joined Praga Film as a full cinematographer and worked on numerous silent films while being increasingly sought after by German film producers. He settled in the UK in 1940 and not long after became a UK citizen. He was someone who was much admired for his versatility and imaginative camera work. The other key person who makes this film as fabulous as it is the lead actor Trevor Howard. He was someone who was cast at very short notice for this film when the original lead actor pulled out. He had made his debut a number of years earlier in a film called Brief Encounter. It was a very popular film. It made him a very popular actor, but in many ways it wasn't the kind of film on which he built his reputation. During that same 1940s period, he came of age in crime thrillers and war films, and he delivered his first really powerful performance in this particular film. He followed it up soon after with the role of Major Calloway in Orson Welles' The Third Man in 1949, and it was that film that really cemented him as a star character actor. There are a number of really good reasons that I think you should watch this film. It's got a great story. It's, like I said, a film noir, but a film noir with a difference, a British film noir. And if you're not familiar with that genre, I'd certainly suggest you start by checking out this particular film. The performance of Trevor Howard is fabulous. That's another reason to watch it, as is the cinematography of Otto Heller. It's a beautiful film to watch with, again, some great symbolism in a number of the scenes as well. So what I'd encourage you to do is go to our website, find the link, click on it, follow it, watch the film, and always, as always, we'd encourage you to come back, let us know your thoughts about the film and whether you'd recommend it for other people to watch. I hope you enjoyed. I'm sure you will. And then again, we'll see you in the not too distant future for another Classic Films review. See ya.